Hey, it's Lindsay, the Curvy Women's Health Coach and Fitness Trainer, and this is Curvy TV, the place to be to break free of all life's aches and pains and learn to be healthy without losing your curves. And today is Mini Class Monday. Today we are going to be focusing on shoulder pain, specifically in the front of your shoulder, maybe even your rotator cuff, when you are lifting up and overhead. Now there are a lot of reasons why you could be having pain in your shoulders when trying to lift overhead. Just one of the many reasons is having tight latissimus dorsi muscles, tight back muscles. If this part of your body's really tight, it's going to kind of like prevent you from being able to go very far because lifting overhead stretches your lats, okay? So just having tight muscles does impede your ability to lift overhead. Okay, so today's class is going to take about 10 minutes to complete. Make sure that you are in an area with lots of room to move around. You're in a quiet place where you're not going to be disturbed and where you have a mat, a bed, or some kind of comfy surface that you can lie down on. Heads up, if you want to use your bed, we are going to be lifting our arms up and overhead. Hence why that's what we're focusing on today. So do make sure that you've got some room up and overhead wherever you're at. Cool, let's get started. First things first, I'm going to lie down on my mat. Actually, no, we are going to start with the stretch portion. I'm changing my mind. Back it up. All right, so we are going to stay sitting on this first one. We are going to stretch out our lats first and foremost, doing something called the leaning ballerina stretch. So I'm going to put my right hand, it'd be your left hand down on the ground. We are not going to put any weight in this if you don't want to. So if you do have hand and wrist problems, you don't have to put weight here. Okay, you are going to take this right arm up and overhead. I'm going to sit cross-legged. There we go. Reach up as high as you can comfortably within pain-free range of motion. If that's here, cool. If that's here, awesome. All right, wherever you are at, letting that shoulder shrug up naturally, and then we are just going to lean off to one side. Now notice, I am not leaning forward. I am not leaning backward. I am not twisting, okay? This is pure lateral flexion, like you're doing the I'm a little teapot dance, okay? If this is pretty easy and you would like a little bit more, you can drop to that elbow, leaning over a little bit further. The further you go, the more you're gonna feel this entire side of your body stretch out, okay? So remember, I'm not leaning forward or back. I'm not twisting. I am pretending as though I am squished between two planes of glass, okay? The two planes of glass would be front to back. And I'm gonna go and switch off to the other side. Again, you can do fingertips only if this is comfortable. I'm a little bit more flexible, so I'm gonna come all the way down to my elbow. And just big deep breaths here, trying to feel that rib cage expand and contract while you breathe. And if this is not comfortable on your knees or on your legs at all, you can always sit in a more comfortable position. It doesn't really matter. Okay, a few more seconds. The deeper you can breathe here, the more your muscles will relax into the stretch. So deep breaths are a good thing. Last one. Fantastic. Now we're gonna go to lying down. All right, so before we do any overhead exercises, anytime we are lying down, anytime we're doing work on our back or on our spine, we want to make sure we're in good alignment. So you know me, I do teach Pilates classes. I firmly believe everyone should do Pilates classes. So we're just going to take one little drill from Pilates just to make sure we're in good alignment. First things first, I want your feet pointing down towards 12 o'clock, like away from you. In other words, toes are neither caving in nor out. We want them just straight as if you're on a set of skis. The skis point downhill. All right, from there, I want your toes to be anchored into the ground, heels anchored into the ground, and then suction cup your arches up off the floor so that your arch muscles are engaged, your feet are engaged. Cool. From here, knees neither caving in nor bowing out. We want those to be nice and strong. So ankles, knees, and hips all in good alignment. Okay? We are going to go onto our hips next. I want the heel of your hand on the sort of jutty out hip bones, the sort of bony part of your hips up top, and I want your fingertips at a diagonal down towards your pubic bone. If you can touch your pubic bone, even better. If you can't, if your hands are a little bit small like mine are, then you can just focus on the bony top part of your hips. That's going to be the more important part. From here, you are going to tilt your hips down towards 12 o'clock. Okay, so that your back kind of arches up from the ground a little bit, and then we're going to tilt back towards 6 o'clock so that our low back is now touching the floor. You're going to go back and forth, tilting in either direction, keeping those feet engaged, keeping your knees engaged here. Okay, we want nice strong legs as we go back and forth. Now what we are looking for whenever we're tilting back and forth, so in this position I'm nice and arched here, okay, my fingertips are going to be a little bit below where the heel of my hand is. If I rotate back, if I tilt back, the heel of my hand is now going to be lower than my fingertips. What I am looking for as I'm tilting back and forth is my hands to be roughly level. Fingertips and the heel of my hand roughly level with one another. I have a very flat spine, so for me that means I tilt almost all the way back. If you have a very curvy spine, you're going to be at a slightly different place than I am. All we're looking for is neutral pelvis, where our tailbone and our hip bones point down towards our feet. Most of us live in what's called an anterior pelvic tilt, a forward pelvic tilt. All that means is that most of us kind of overarch that low back a little bit. So most of us are going to need to roll back at least a little bit here, okay? So find that neutral position where your hands are level. Once you've got it, you should feel abdominals engaged here. So feet are engaged, legs are nice and neutral, pelvis is in neutral. From here, I want your rib cage not bowing up off the ground. I do want those ribs glued to the ground, nice and stable, shoulder blades anchored down to the floor, and shoulders back and down. You should be feeling very stable here. Cool? So that is neutral alignment head to toe. From here, we're going to do a drill called cactus arms. This is a physical therapy drill. It's fantastic for your rotator cuff muscles, which are the shoulder muscles that just help your arm to rotate. Okay, so still in neutral alignment, I want you to bring your elbows out to 90 degrees. Okay, so my wrists are not in here. I do want them pointing straight up to the ceiling, and I want the backs of my elbows touching the floor if you can. If you can't quite come all the way down to touching, I just want you to come as far as you can. Cool? So elbows touching the floor, fingertips up towards the ceiling, or you can make a fist, either one. Okay? From here, I want to lower down as far back as I can, and what I'm trying to do is touching the backs of my wrist down to the floor. So I'm not bringing my hands in towards my ears. I am keeping hands completely still, and I'm just rotating at that shoulder joint, okay? Now, if you can come all the way down to the ground, fantastic. You're probably going to be in the minority for this drill. A lot of us do not have good shoulder mobility, so this is going to be a tough one for a lot of folks, okay? Now, what I do see a lot of people do over the years is they'll want to cheat. They'll be like, oh yeah, I can touch my hands to the floor, touching just fingertips. I'm like, I did say the backs of your wrist is what I want to touch for. I don't care what your hands do. I'm looking at where your wrists are, okay? What you're gonna wanna do, other than cheating with fingertips, you're gonna wanna arch your ribs up off the floor to cheat and get yourself just like a little bit of extra reach there. Don't let yourself. That's why we started with the alignment drill. Keeping feet engaged, knees apart, hips in neutral, ribs glued down to the floor, shoulders and shoulder blades rolled back and down, and hold there as you are coming up, and if you can, come down as well. Now our shoulders don't all the way down to the floor without kind of coming up off the ground, so it's okay. You won't be able to go all the way down, but same thing, this time we're just looking for the front of our wrist to come down as far as you can. Coming back, backs of your wrist coming up without arching those ribs up off the floor. Come back down, okay? If this is already tough for you, you can just stop right here today, because we are gonna build off of this. So if this is already a little bit too tough for you, you're just gonna stay here and you're gonna skip the last drill. If you are like me and you're already very flexible, you're rocking it, you are killing this drill, we're gonna add on. So come up to the top of this drill, come up to the top of cactus arms. Remember, backs of wrists are on your floor, backs of shoulders still anchored down to the floor, shoulder blades anchored to the floor, ribs anchored to the floor. From here, we are gonna snow angel our arms all the way up and overhead, or as high up as you can get. Actually, my mat's a little bit in the way. There we go. So we're gonna start here, and we are gonna come all the way up and overhead. I know I'm just scraping up all the lovely bits of dirt off my floor. It's fantastic. Coming up as high up as you can overhead. Now notice, I am still out to the side. I did not come here because that will require me to lift my shoulders off the ground. I'm coming to more like here. It's kind of slightly a Y shape. Okay, I only want you to come up as high as you can, where you can keep your elbows on the floor, where you can keep the backs of your wrists on the floor, where your shoulders stay on the floor, your shoulder blades and ribs, everything stays anchored. Got it? So we are just sliding up as far as I can. Everything stays nice and stable and anchored. Starting to get tough through here. All right, letting those shoulder blades rise up naturally. They're just not coming up off the ground. And there we go. It's going to be about my limit today. And coming back down, nice and slow. Mopping up all the dirt along the way. Okay, we're going to come down here. That's about as far as I can get it. I'm starting to feel those ribs want to come up, so we're going to stop there. And we're just going to come up and overhead one more time. Nice and slow. I do want you to do this slow because you're training your shoulders how to behave, okay? A lot of us have horrible shoulder mobility, so this is going to be a tough one for a lot of folks. And that's where I want to arch up. So cool, we're going to stop there. All right. So that was my mini class, and I hope you enjoyed it. Now I want to hear from you. What was the one biggest takeaway that you got from today's class, and how are you going to incorporate it into your week? Head on over to the magical land of lindsaywent.com and let me know. Heads up, I do not read the YouTube comments below, so you do have to jump on over to lindsaywent.com to jump in on the conversation. While you're there, sign up to become an exclusive member of the Curvy Club. You'll get instant access to a training I created called the 5 Tools to Relieve Pain Better, Faster, and Longer than ibuprofen. You'll also get videos just like this one delivered to your inbox every other week, plus some special giveaways, some special how-tos, some live cook with me nights, some other giveaways, and awesome stuff that I just don't share anywhere else. Keep moving. You are stronger than you think you are. And remember, you are allowed to live unapologetically in the body you have. Start where you are, start where you can, just start. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time on Curvy TV.